Hey everybody, this is the Utah Outcasts. We are a very much uncensored and unabashedly atheist show coming at you from the great and spacious state of Utah via podcast and YouTube. We strive to bring you some of the most entertaining news that you missed for this week, some fun with real audio, and oh so much more each week. For each topic we find funny, infuriating, or just plain newsworthy, we make sure to consume each with as much skepticism and as much irreverence as legally allowed. The panel for this week consists only of one of the usual, who is atheisting harder than a Mormon missionary in Salt Lake City, Felicia and Whistle, and as per usual, I am your host for this wonderful evening, X. I just go by that because Chris is too much sibilance in that. No thanks, Chris. No thanks. So, before we get started, we have to shine the Patreon signal into the sky to give a quick shout out to Robert for remaining our most devoted patron. If you too want to get your name...
patron.
If you want to get your name scribed into the annals of the Utah Outcast history but don't have the cash per episode, we humbly ask that if you like what we're saying, that you'd please give us a few seconds of time in whatever app that you use to catch our show to leave us a rating or at the very least a subscribe. As always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all other sorts of venues as Utah Outcasts. So,
I just want to point out, if you're interested in becoming a Patreon and you want to be part of the annals.
You gotta express those glands every once in a while.
X will write your name on his favorite butt plug.
Yeah.
It's true. I
can't get all the way to the knot. I can't quite get there yet.
You'll get there.
One day.
You gotta relax.
Just gotta keep working on it.
Yeah. It's not work. It's more like being in the moment.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of hard to relax when you're a 300-pound guy squatting down. It's kind of hard.
Oh, well, that's because you're doing it wrong. You don't squat down.
No, but I don't have helping hands.
You lay on your side.
Oh. No, good to know.
Yep, there you go.
So community stuff. We have the Great Atheist Campout coming up on the 29th, 30th, and 31st of July. That's in about a week and a half as you guys are hearing this. Felicia, what are the details on that one?
So it's up at Current Creek. It's beautiful up there. There's a lake. Apparently there's leeches. So I won't fall off my paddleboard, apparently. But it's up at Current Creek, and it is $15 a night, and there's 2 nights. Or you can get your membership for $5 cheaper and go for free.
Yeah, that's what you should do.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. There's a lake that's known for its fishing. We're going to have 2 campsites this year, so and they're right next to each other, but there's going to be one with a bedtime for families, and then there's going to be one without a bedtime.
The body camp.
Yeah. So that's where me and the fella are going to be with a baby monitor, Riley. We're going to just put the one down and then go.
Oh, gotcha.
But
just makes me think of like the old-timey 80s camp movies where like you have the one group going across the lake to the other group's camp and
total panty raid.
Panty raids going on.
Total panty raid. Yes, I'm going to organize the family bedtime camp spot for a panty raid. We're gonna do this. There's
Mom, Dad, what's a panty raid? You'll just have to find out later in life, son.
There's a Dutch oven cook-off, and the rules are posted on our Facebook page and our meetup groups.
So if you're not already on the meetup group or at least on the Facebook page, go there because you'll get all the information and all of the people. Anybody that comments there has anything they want to ask gets responded to almost immediately. If you catch any of their like events linked somewhere else, you're probably going to have a hard time getting a response to it because you're trying to get everybody to go to the group itself because that's where you want to keep everything and that's the best place to find stuff.
That's the only way we can actually do it.
It's too much work otherwise.
It's literally impossible for us to follow it in other groups.
I agree.
So yeah, so always come to the Facebook event itself. So if you see it posted elsewhere, make sure you follow it to the event itself.
Yep.
But we are great about responding there.
They really are.
But it's a bit of a drive. It's like a good 2-hour drive to get to the campsite, but it is gorgeous. Bring lots of water. There are flush toilets.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's well maintained. There is no cell service. None.
Good.
No self-service.
Good.
Yes.
Fucking unplug for a day or two.
And as much as we love Pokémon Go, we can survive without it.
Yep.
And but we can't take credit cards up there. If that's the case, we can't do it.
Cash only.
Cash only.
Will you guys take checks?
Actually, no,
Nope.
we don't.
Good.
Nope.
Good.
Nope. So we can't take credit cards. We can take cash. We will have membership signups up there. Or, if you just want to stay for a night or two and not get a membership, I guess.
How about Bitcoin? Do you take Bitcoin? No, dummy.
No.
There's no internet.
But, it is bear country, so whatever you bring your food, make sure you can secure it.
Yeah.
We have a good number of parking spots, but those will probably fill up fast. But there's plenty of parking outside of the immediate area, and people will help you haul your stuff in if you need to. Trust me, there's going to be plenty of room. The campsites are wonderful and flat.
Yay!
Yeah, no, it's awesome up there. It's got all the things of all the amenities of. Oh, there is no quick trips into town. There is a tiny little shopette at the top, but other than that, don't bring what you need.
Yeah, don't expect you're going to pick up a suitcase of Keystone at that place.
No, bring your booze with. Oh, speaking of booze, we're really excited about this one. We are going to be doing logoed mugs, Atheists of Utah, for $20. And then you will be able to share in the kegs of beer, which will be there legally.
Sweet.
Yep.
This should be a staple every time you guys have an event now.
It's pretty rad.
It is. Let's see. I know Kyle's going to be there. You're going to be there. Unfortunately, I'm not. I've got a lot going on that weekend. Let's see. What else do we have in the community coming up? We have Sunday Assembly's Pie and Beer Day coming up on Sunday, July 24th.
Yep.
I know we've been saying that there's other stuff going on as well, because the unbaptism is the same time as that, and it's also some other party that some other assholes have been invited to that other people haven't been to. So.
Yeah. Well,
but we're not talking about that,
Come on.
Yeah, no, I'm just being funny. I'm being funny. So,
there's a very exclusive party with Alaskan salmon.
Yeah. So the Sunday Assembly, whether you need a church or not, they're good people there. And it's not church. I'm saying that as shorthand because it is a congregation of people. It is not
It's 100% secular.
Yep.
So why don't we tell them what Sunday Assembly is real fast?
Go for it.
So it is not. So they're not doing their actual Sunday assemblies yet. That's going to launch later this year.
Yeah.
But once they do launch, and then they are already doing family get-togethers and stuff, and they're really cool group of people, 100% secular, and very pro-science is their thing. So
it's just
they don't call
a community, really, like a really tight-knit community.
When they do start doing their Sunday assemblies, it's only once a month because they're not a religion. They don't have time for
every Sunday.
You get together. Services are no more than an hour. It's not early in the morning because, again, they're not assholes.
No.
And you sing a few songs like Journey or Everything is Awesome from the Lego movie. That's really one they're going to sing. It's on the list.
I'm out. You said Journey. I can't do Steve Perry. Nope.
God, I love it. I love singing Journey. Journey's my go-to. Don't stop believing. Yeah. Oh, it's my jam.
Oh, man.
I know, it's terrible. It's corny. It's so popular.
But then again, I'm super fucking hyped for Foreigner. I love that group.
I like it.
Anyway, sorry. Sunday Assembly.
So blueberries.
Blueberries. And they use that term. Yay.
They do. Love our Sunday Assembly. So, no, so you go and they have a speaker there who will speak on, there's no spiritual speakers.
There's no woo. No woo at all.
No woo. And then the kids portion, because you do get to unload your kids, they go and do science experiments and science lessons from a teacher who teaches at the Natural History Museum. So it's legit, yo. Yeah. No, it's amazing. I'm really excited. William and I have already started talking about taking his son to it. So.
Yeah, and you don't got to dress up like a bunch of stuffed collar fucking.
No, there's no Sunday
pencil neck geese.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Just if you and it's not like if you don't show up, there's anything wrong with you. It's not a church. It's not a church.
They're not judgmental. No.
No. It is just to replace the parts that some people miss, the sense of community. I really actually love singing songs in a group. It's one of my favorite things. And the only time I've had a good chance to do that was at
karaoke. No.
No.
I hate karaoke.
It was Billy Joel. And when the crowd sang Piano Man together, it was kind of magical. So I love it. I'm excited to start going to it. Not because I need church, but because really, like the whole thing, like you sing songs and then you learn a little something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like my scene.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into... Now it's time for News You Missed. This is our first segment of the show that we like to call it that because, well, we know that most networks don't have our bias, and, you know, they wouldn't talk about the killings in Nice, France this past weekend, or past week, I should say. And I know we've heard so many goddamn gory details. There's been speculated out the wazoo as to what it could be that would drive someone to do something like this. And it's real easy, and it doesn't even need to be spelled out. Religion. The guy wasn't a very devout Muslim. You're going to see the people in the Islamic Defense League come out and say, oh, that this guy wasn't a Muslim, you know, he wasn't a good Muslim, you know. It's the whole no true Scotsman thing because he never did X, Y, or Z, or, you know, that we good Muslims do. I
think that it's a combination. I mean, just like the Columbine shootings were, and I'm sorry, there's a pattern here. The mass killing thing is men.
Yeah.
It's by and large.
But
like,
you didn't hear Eric and Dylan saying something like God is great when they were doing shit like that.
No, but there is a problem with the disenfranchised, violent male who has not been reached. Meaning, like,
he doesn't have an outlet for that energy.
Well, and he hasn't been taught the tools. And there's still the stigma of mental health.
It's real easy.
And
real easy.
Always a good one. Always. But I mean, I saw a great ad for Man Health. It was like,
yeah, I saw that.
I loved it. I loved it because it was acknowledging. I understand that there's still a hypermasculinity to it, and there's still the having to define manhood by manliness, which is silly. But if it's going to help, good. I'm great.
I'm all for helping, but at the same time, I kind of have to giggle at the whole binary thing of, you know, we have to binarize health. You know, it's like
we do,
health versus health.
Let's start here. Right?
Yeah, let's at least get some people in and talking about this shit. So for me, the bottom line is that this guy thought that if he martyred himself, he'd get either a quick reward for it, or that he would live on in perpetuity through doing some terrible shit.
The religion definitely facilitates this kind of like toxic, bad, violent outburst kind of thing. It definitely has a place in a home and fosters that kind of hatred.
Yeah,
it really does.
Well, what gets me is if you think about it, like, even if the guy was a shitty Muslim, he knows in the rule book, the great fucking, you know, horribly written rule book, that, you know, if you're feeling down and you have nothing else to do and nowhere to go, no one's treating you very nicely, you can just martyr yourself. That's okay. That's good. That's even a great thing.
That's really, and
I know someone saying Allahu Akbar doesn't exactly translate into I'm a terrorist, but, you know, walks like a duck, talks like a duck. Kind of doing terrorist shit makes you a terrorist. I'm sorry.
It's about, the vast majority of Muslims are not going to do this.
Yeah.
It is about creating a fostership and a place for unhealthy thoughts to fester.
Yeah. I mean,
when you take that, like, if you had somebody like that who was on the brink of violent outburst, was feeling disenfranchised and angry, justifiably or not, and I'm going to say unjustifiably, if you have that, and you take a secular worldview, there's clear and real steps to say, don't do these things. These are not healthy. But religion says these are good.
And
this is for God.
This is great.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Well, and what's bothering me the most is about how non-religious this guy is, how he went to strip clubs, or, you know, how he drank. And I'm like, you guys realize the 9/11 guys did the same shit, right?
Are you kidding me? Prostitution's huge in the Middle East right now.
Yeah, so is having sex slaves.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
and fucking
that.
children. Hey, how about that? So,
Oh yeah. No, these guys are completely forgiven because they're doing work for God. Like, that's the idea.
you know the whole Muhammad taking on what the hell was her name, Aisha at the time, because she was 9. Yeah,
Ugh.
that's a good thing he did. That's good.
They waited to consummate till she was 12. Oh, sorry.
Oh, 12? Ugh. God damn it. That's sick. I hate religion. I really fucking hate religion.
Yep.
So that's going to bring us into our second little news item, and this one's a little more lighthearted. There is a religious statesman and president of the Universal Society of Hinduism. His name is Rajan Zed. And he released a statement earlier in the day. Actually, it was last night when I found this, so it would have been on Saturday night when he released a statement. Because apparently Blizzard and Activision, you know, the video game company responsible for World of Warcraft and a bunch of other games, in their game Overwatch, they made a skin for their characters that, quote-unquote, trivializes Hinduism's highly revered goddesses. And, yeah, Devi, the great goddess of Hinduism.
Great. Make her a character. I don't care. It's not racist. It's not.
And he says in his statement, he urges all these people to withdraw the Devi skin from the video game as it has trivialized Hinduism's highly revered goddesses. He is the president, blah, 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 said the video game set up the player controlled the movements of this person, while in reality the devotees put their destinies of themselves in the hands of the goddess. How dare you say we can control it?
To be fair.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
To be fair, they probably didn't do a Jesus one.
No. But at the same time,
I mean, they should.
Yeah, but what gets me is that these people are like, "Oh, I'm so goddamn offended," you know. I'm offended you put Satan as the bad guy. I'm so tired of that.
I am too.
And all of these people,
especially because there isn't a Satan figure in Hinduism.
No, and
so that doesn't even work for me.
I'm tired of all these people eating my Lord and Savior, the flying spaghetti monster. I'm so tired of it. How dare you? Actually, he asks you to consume. So. It's just funny that people get so offended by this shit that they're writing letters, and then you get and
I'm probably more offended by the fact, like, by the portrayal of women. Probably, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they're so they're not respectful in their portrayal of women. Sorry.
Well, it's so goddamn hilarious to me that that you'll have people jumping at this news item, and they're gonna say, "Oh. Well, how dare they? They should remove that because that's offensive to 14 people." You know, it's like... You
know, Kali is a badass character. I think we should just have her in all the video games.
Well, and I think that's who this one's modeled after because it's got the blue skin, has the skulls and everything like that. So it's like...
Okay, so...
Why wouldn't you want to have a destructive goddess as one of your characters in a video game?
Awesome.
Why not?
If
I could take control of Jesus and, like...
Here's the thing, right?
Glory hole a bunch of people.
Thor isn't offensive. If they did...
so the difference is that whether currently believe it or not, that's the thing.
Yep, there it is. Does somebody actively believe the myth?
Because if you were a Greek mythology person, God of War should fucking piss you off.
Yeah. But everyone regards that as mythology.
Oh, God, that game is so good, too. I don't know. Did you ever see the movie Immortals?
No.
That was good. God damn it, that was a good movie. I mean, a lot of people didn't like it, but done by the same director that did The Cell. I can't remember his name right now.
Okay.
But man, it was a visually striking movie about can't remember the guy's name, but he's the one that killed the Minotaur and all that other fun stuff.
Oh no, I know it. I know the story.
Yeah. Oh man, it's good.
I'll check it out.
I love that movie.
I love Greek mythology, man.
Yeah, especially because it had the guy that played Charles Xavier as Zeus.
Nice.
Yeah, the current Charles. Not the current Charles. Whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. Whatever. We're going to move on. Let's see. Turkey has had a coup, and it failed.
Probably for the best.
I disagree because Erdogan is a shit stain.
I know, but I worry that the military would have been dictatorship-like. I mean, look, I don't know.
If the military were in charge, our military would be coming down on them pretty goddamn hard, along with all the other NATO countries. Like, look, you need to make this work.
Yeah, probably true.
The problem is...
Erdogan's a dick. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, like, pro-Erdogan.
No, and if apparently we have Alex Jones people from Turkey that are saying that this whole coup was put on by President Erdogan. So he says, there's a guy that used to be, he was a cleric. So yeah, we should take what he says. That he says that I don't believe that the world believes the accusations made by the president. There's a possibility that it could be a staged coup, and it could mean further accusations against and this is their sect of whatever people they are, the Gulenists. Whatever the Hizmet movement. Nobody cares about all this shit, so...
But lastly, I want to talk about Nice and Turkey.
Yeah.
They're going to need a lot of aid, guys. Give if you can. Volunteer if you can. Your prayers don't mean shit.
Yeah, don't pray. Thoughts and prayers don't do a goddamn thing. And we could... And shortly before coming onto the show tonight, I saw news of the Baton Rouge killing. There were 3 more cops killed. And apparently 3 or 4 more that are also in critical condition. And I'm sad that this kind of shit is happening, but and I'm not writing a blank check for bad people out there, so don't think that, because I don't think the answer to any of this shit is violence.
No, but
part of me wants to go, what the fuck do you think would happen when people are constantly being let out for murder?
Well, they are. And Baton Rouge, the police department has responded very poorly. And
terribly. The one of the sheriff, whatever the fuck he is, was on CNN before I did the show, and I was like, wow, he's not making a case for himself at all, because the guy on CNN was like, look, I understand that you're saying this stuff, but that's not what all lives matter. Black Lives Matter are talking about.
Right.
And he's like, you're talking about other things. I'm trying to say this one thing right here. Police are brutalizing black people, and you're not doing anything to stop it.
Yep.
Oh, what about black on black violence? It's like, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. We can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time as much as you want.
Yeah, can we address one problem at a time? And frankly, if we start addressing policing issues, black on black violence could be addressed largely in that, because that's a long story. Anyway.
Yeah. That's crime. Crime happens it doesn't matter what skin color you are.
I'm not justifying the killing of police officers, because it's wrong.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's
not what we're trying to say. And we're just trying to say that when you give these, when you haven't even given these people an option to education. You haven't given them the option to know that there's another way to address their issues. Black Lives Matter has been doing a great job of nonviolent protest, of addressing these issues. And I love the people that are saying, well, if Dr. King were alive today, he wouldn't be a member.
Yes,
he wouldn't be with BLM.
I'd be right there with him.
He would never shut down a freeway if it meant, something like. No, he did quite often, actually.
Didn't he do that?
Yeah,
very thing?
That's exactly what he did. But you have people that in the news media want to think that things that certain people did at a certain time. Oh, they didn't. That's not the same. They didn't do.
No, Martin Luther King was a radical, and Malcolm X actually supported him 100%.
Yep. Just like how I support Dave Silverman.
Think about that.
Let's see. Let's get out of all that. Let me see. If you're wondering what the fuck we are doing here in Utah with the porn is bad and good resolution that came out, well, guess what? That's now the GOP stance as well. Literally, they released their platform for the convention starting tomorrow. We're not going to release this till Wednesday, but it's going to be Monday when you hear about this. They're releasing their platform for the convention, and coming out and saying porn is bad, okay, is one of their big issues, alongside transgender people are bad, okay, and also marriage is one man and one woman, okay. Yes, the GOP has now become Mr. Mackey from South Park, where everything that is normal is good. Everything that is normal and good is now bad, Who cares that gay people want to get married? If it's 2 people that are consenting and they love each other, get married,
My favorite
get
argument
the fuck
against
over
them,
it.
what is it? Phil Robertson, Duck Dynasty guy?
Oh, man, we have him coming up in Phone with Real Audio.
Okay, I'll save it for then.
So, probably not the one that you're thinking of, but anyway, there's a nice bit of othering going on, and the shit show just gets worse as Trump picked fucking Mike fucking Pence as his running mate. Just let that sink in for a second. A lot of people listening to this might not know who Mike Pence is, but he is a true piece of shit.
Oh yeah, he's horrible. He's a horrible human being. He's a bad person, and he sucks.
If you think that Trump was kind of, being light on women's health and, gay people and stuff like that and trans people, nope, Mike Pence is the guy that's going to round that up perfectly. So.
First of all, women's health, he actually hasn't been, he said women who get abortions should be punished. And just his general treatment of, bleeding out of her wherever. Yeah, that about sums up his opinion of women.
Mm-hmm.
But my gay boss said, well, he's not a fan. This was not like him defending. He goes, well, he hasn't actively done anything real bad against the gays yet. And I'm like, I know he hasn't.
No.
And then he nominated Mike Pence. He goes, remember how we were talking about how Trump hasn't come out and said anything real bad against the gays? I'm like, uh-huh. He goes, I think this counts. And I said, yep, this is about it.
Well, if you just look, he shut down Indiana for defunding Planned Parenthood.
God.
And he shut them down for one other thing, and I can't remember exactly what it was. I mean, I've done homework on the guy, but I don't want to know all these details.
He doesn't even think women should have access to birth control.
No. And what's really funny to me is that if you saw the logo that came out for them, it was a T resting within a P, the P's pee hole.
Dude,
it wasn't just resting. That T for Trump was fucking pile driving the pee hole.
I saw it and I was like before there were GIFs or anyone being like, it looks like it's fucking. My first reaction was like, this is a joke, right? There's no fucking way.
People came out with
Trump himself signed off on it.
The fucking GIF that came out where the T is pumping the shit out of the P just makes me laugh to no fucking end.
So
and it was so great that they've now removed the logo. It took less than 24 hours for them to go, oh shit. Damage control.
It's too late. The internet owns that shit.
It's everywhere. I bet you if I did a Giphy keyboard when we're in the Utah Outcast room, it'd be like, I bet you we could find that one. I bet you'd find it somewhere. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's owned now. They can't scrub it. It exists. You released it. We saw it. We took it. It is ours now.
Did you hear about Axl Rose trying to get rid of the one picture of him being fat and somebody making up their own like Guns N' Roses lyrics to like him being fat, like take me down to the bakery city where the pies are creamy. He's sending out fucking cease and desist letters and DMCA threats and shit about this, and it's like, do you not understand how the fucking internet works? It's going to be the Streisand effect. Like, by you coming out and saying, I want this gone, that's just going to make a lot more fucking people want to do it. So, fucking dummy. Let's see. I believe this is the last news item that we have for you guys today. Let me see. In the wake of the U.S. Supreme Court decision in favor of same-sex marriages, Republicans are pushing legalization that aims to protect Americans who oppose these unions on religious grounds. But critics say the language is so broad, the bill creates a license to discriminate that would let employers fire women for getting pregnant outside of wedlock.
And of course it would.
What would they call this bill? What would they call this thing? Oh, how about the First Amendment Defense Act? Protects the federal government from taking discriminatory action against a person, which is defined to include for-profit corporations, acting in accordance with a religious belief that favors so-called traditional marriage. So, I hate the gays, the bill. That's what it seems like.
I hate the gays and the women, the bill.
So, feds can't revoke a nonprofit's tax-exempt status for this, or end a company's federal contract over this issue. Which is terrible. Let's see.
I'm sorry. I mean, just as a woman of childbearing age, like, it's hard enough already.
Yeah.
Like, and companies already are firing women for getting pregnant.
Oh, yeah. There's a number of cases where religious schools have fired unwed teachers for becoming pregnant.
Right. But don't I have a right to not get married?
No,
get pregnant?
No, you don't have bodily autonomy. No. That's to your husband. That's for your husband.
There it is.
Yeah. Let the man make the decisions for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Supreme Court has recognized like the ministerial exception to these employment discrimination laws, which I think is complete bullshit. You should not be able to have an organization that does shit like this. I don't care if you think all religion is not that bad. No, I'm anti-theist. Fuck your religion. You should not be able to discriminate. Fuck your church.
No, fuck. You know what? In the church, whatever. Like,
I know, but if you're working, if you're just having a job, like you're a teacher, you need a job as a teacher working somewhere.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be fired for their fucking dumb rule book.
Exactly. That's where it needs to end. And the thing is, and people could say, "Oh, freedom, freedom." Well, here's the problem, guys, is that enacting stuff like this effectively creates Jim Crow laws. I'm not equating it. I'm saying that is exactly what these things do. They create a second-class citizenship, which marginalize and oppress a certain group of people, and
Christians good, everybody else bad.
Christian men, straight men, good.
Straight Christian cis men, yes, good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rest of us are supposed to be subjugated. That's the idea.
So for a laundry list of assholes that you guys should not be voting back in, you have Raul Labrador. Sorry, it looked like a P when I was reading it. Who authored the House bill, denied that it could be used this way, and he said in quotes, "It's just allowing people to continue to believe the way that they do."
They already do believe it.
You can do that without bills and acts and shit like that.
What is it? Somebody said, Kasich. It was Kasich.
Oh, man.
Make them the cake and say a prayer for him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying that in that instance, he's right. Yeah.
Keep it to your fucking
cake.
self. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to like it. You are welcome to, you're wrong, but to judge a woman for getting pregnant outside of wedlock, that's your freedom. But it is not your freedom to restrict them from being able to, oh my God, how is this even a thought process? They're like, she got pregnant out of wedlock. You know what? She doesn't need a job.
Yeah.
What the flying fuck?
You know, where's your compassion now, Christians, you fucking idiots? How the fuck
is she supposed to feed a fucking baby? Oh, her boobs? Well, she has to eat too.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
But she better not show those fucking boobs in public, because then men are going to think dirty thoughts.
Cover those naughty bags. So also we have Bill Flores from Texas, who says, "We're not going to try." I'm going to make a fat white guy voice here. "We're not going to try to dance on the head of a pin here. This legislation protects an institution based on its sincerely held religious beliefs from persecution."
Oh, for fuck's sake! You're not being persecuted.
Nope.
You're not being persecuted.
You're the fucking majority.
You're not being persecuted just because you're not being allowed to be a raging dickhole to somebody does not mean you're being I don't understand how this is so hard.
You can hold up a card. Hold up two cards. One would be white, one would be black. What colors do you see? I see white and not white. No, you're wrong.
I don't see color.
Oh, yeah, that's the answer you'll get. That's the fucking answer. I don't see color. Don't fucking do that. If anybody that listens to the show does that, stop it. Just stop. That's not fucking helping.
Okay, and here's why it's not helping.
You sound like a raging honky when you say shit like that.
The reason, because they're, like, one of my favorite things is, you know, like, oh, I don't even notice my black friends are black anymore. You know what they don't get to do? Not notice it. All right? You want to know why you get to do that? Because your race doesn't fucking matter to anyone.
Because you're at the top.
Like, you get to forget that you're white. Like, you get to look in the mirror and not have that be a part of your identity.
Yep.
But they get reminded every fucking day. Whether they want to or not, they are reminded every day. So when you sit there and say that you don't see color, you're basically telling them that you're not listening. That you don't care about their experience. And that you're not going to address it.
Exactly.
Go fuck yourself.
The main reason I wanted to bring this one up, this whole news item, is because it ties into Utah so well with our wonderful fucking senator, Mike Lee, who introduced the companion bill in the Senate about a hypothetical university firing an unmarried woman for having sex out of wedlock. And he said, and this is him on quotes, "I don't understand how people like this keep getting voted in fucking office because it's voter apathy. We get 20% of the populace, if we're lucky, out fucking voting for people. And unfortunately, the religious and the right love to fucking vote." So anyway, he said, "There are colleges and universities that have a religious belief
colleges
and universities
No, they don't.
with
Colleges and
religious
universities,
beliefs.
they don't actually have religious beliefs. They're buildings.
They're buildings with people in them. They don't have beliefs.
They don't have beliefs.
You can't like go up to it and like shout at one of the bricks like there is no God. You can't be like get it to change its mind. No,
there is no mind.
No.
The brick doesn't have anything there.
No, they have a religious belief that sexual relations are to be reserved for marriage.
So fuck
and
yourself.
that they quote ought to be protected in their religious freedom.
Why? They are protected. They don't have to fuck anybody outside of marriage.
Just like how we said last week, and this is me not trying to say this to use the word, but thug equals nigger. Religious freedom equals discrimination. That's what I'm hearing here. God damn it, that pisses me off. I'm so tired of these people.
How if you think that you think sex belongs only in marriage, and by the way, religious men, you kind of failing on that front.
Yeah,
if you think
you scratch an inch of surface off of any of these fucking Republican guys' like lives, you're gonna see a tarnished interior.
Shit.
Everything's gonna be fucking horrible.
Every
like
time.
okay, like everybody, and I'm dragging this off into blueberry territory. I don't fucking care. Everybody that's shitting on Hillary Clinton, I understand you don't think she's the best candidate. You don't like the whole email thing that happened to her.
She's the best candidate. That doesn't make her a
the
good
thing is that they're shitting on her for using a private mail server when so many other secretaries of state did the same goddamn thing. Oh wait, okay, they changed the ruling before she came into office. Fine, be that way. Trey Gowdy, the guy that's called for all the fucking Benghazi hearings, uses his own fucking private email server. Jason Chaffetz on his fucking business card for whatever the fuck he is lists a Gmail account. You guys are fucking hypocrites of the highest nature, and you need to be voted the fuck out. But the sad thing is that people are like, oh, my vote doesn't matter. I'm not going to vote. I don't care about any of this stuff. That doesn't affect my day-to-day life. Why do you care so much about politics, X?
It actually does affect your day-to-day life.
Yes, because you're trying to get a bill called...
Trump is the front runner. Trump is the fucking front runner.
You're trying to get the First Amendment Defense Act. You go up and ask any of these assholes that are trying to push this fucking bill what the First Amendment says.
You know what? I guarantee you, like 90% of those people, why you talk politics, it doesn't affect my day-to-day life, are white, straight, cis men.
Or women.
Well, except for those women are going, the fuck, I could get pregnant outside of marriage.
Yeah.
I do have sex outside. You know, not one fucking man
I'll
would
just
ever
vote when
be
my
fired.
husband votes. When my husband tells me to vote.
Not one fucking man is ever going to get fired for having sex outside of marriage. Not one. But you know that as soon as they find out about a woman...
And what's really shocking to me is that we're seeing the GOP putting all these bills out there in test states. We had stuff happen in Indiana, Mike Pence's territory. You have this shit happening in Utah where they make a resolution about porn being the worst thing that could possibly happen to the world. Fuck having guns in every goddamn house, but, somebody's watching somebody else getting fucked. Ooh, oh, that's
terrible. Number one cause of death in teenagers in Utah is suicide. That's the number one childhood death for 11 to 24.
Because the conformity factory is on fucking full tilt.
In Utah, but porn is the public health crisis.
Porn's what's doing it to it. Porn drives you to kill yourself.
It actually doesn't.
Nope.
No correlation there whatsoever. There's probably a correlation of kids who have killed themselves will probably watch porn. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also brush their teeth. And also saw full moon.
After I learned how to get rid of the, guilt that I felt, the Christian guilt that I felt when I watched stuff like that and pulled my butt and be like, oh, I'm a terrible person. After I got rid of that, nothing is out of bounds. Nothing. Whether if you find it and it's consenting, nothing's out of bounds.
They can ban porn, but they can't ban my imagination because earlier today, whoa.
Woof. So anyway, this religious freedom bill that they're trying to push is, as one person put it, Indiana on steroids, end quote. And God damn the GOP and their fucking...
It's
They
all
got a
wrong.
convention this week, but are you guys going to watch it? No, you're not going to watch it. You're not going to care anything about all those fucking people.
I am going to have a drinking game.
You're going to be dying of alcohol poisoning.
I'm going to drink Utah beer.
I hope it's a shit show. Oh man, I hope it's a
God,
shit
dude.
show where they fucking...
Dude, they've got like the top 400th ranked golf pro woman speaking. And
who was it? I have a friend that was posting like the now trending thing on Facebook. I'd have to look it up real quick, but a couple of celebrities that were coming out. Let me find it real quick. What were you talking about? Golf pro?
Yeah, she's like 400th ranked. She's speaking.
Oh, here it is. Trending now on Facebook. Antonio Sabato Jr. to speak at the Republican National Convention to support Donald Trump. Google that guy. You're going to be like, oh, him. That's a C-list actor if I've ever seen one. And then also Scott fucking Baio. Scott Baio says he will speak in support of Donald Trump at the RNC this week. So he is pulling Sharknado fucking actors out.
In the meantime, there's a bunch of Republicans who are like, oh, I gotta go wash my hair.
They're like, oh, I'm busy. I'm sorry. I can't make it this week.
Oh, I gotta go not watch porn.
Yeah. I'm totally not pulling it to Bailey J tonight. Nope, not doing that. Anyway, that's all we got for News You Missed this week. We're going to go ahead and cut out to our first commercial, and then we'll be back with Fun with Real Audio. Actually, no, not Fun with Real Audio. Let me scratch that. We are going to be back with the Atheist Decalogue. We'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so we're back, and we're here with the Atheist Decalogue, and we've culled a list of 26 questions that white men have for social justice warriors. That that came from the Amazing Atheist channel, where he had a bunch of other YouTubers that I actually used to quite fucking enjoy watching. I mean, we had people like Mr. Repsion and who else did he have on there? Let's see, the Armored Skeptic. I used to really like him on there, but you know, after these people throwing their lot in with this guy about this kind of shit, just has me rethinking that altogether. So, as I'd like to call these 10 questions that we have, the double pentuple of patriarchal privilege. Yeah, say that five times fast. So, number 1, why do you claim to speak for LGBT people, women, and ethnic minorities, but when LGBT people, women, and ethnic minorities disagree with you, you harass them? I don't.
Well, I don't. One, I am a woman. So I get to do that.
Yeah.
Also, I listen to those people. Mm-hmm. And I am simply... You get hot, buddy? Sorry, my fur baby my de-stress device is like, I can only cuddle for so long.
I'm out of here. I can't take this shit anymore. SJW, I'm out of here.
Oh.
You shit lord. No.
No, I first of all, I am a woman, so I'm allowed to speak from a woman's perspective. Mm. And I've never harassed anyone, ever. I've never done it.
No.
So, and then I'm just trying to listen to the experience of the LGBT community and minorities, and trying to communicate to other white people how maybe they can understand their perspective.
Yeah.
And just a little bit. That's it.
For me, I don't claim to speak for anybody but myself.
Right.
I can't speak for people of color. I can't speak for people in the gay movement. I can't speak for anybody but my own dumb shit white cisgendered thing that I got going on over here. But at the same time, I'm not going to allow people saying and doing shit that I know is harmful for people.
Well, there's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of evidence. And if we can be convinced by the evidence, and again, listen to the stories of these people, and not demand evidence for each and every individual, but look for an overarching pattern of situations. And you know what? Sometimes, women are women's own worst enemies, man.
Oh, my God. I hate to say that I know what you're talking about, but I've seen more than enough anti-fem people out there.
Yeah, and these are women who are like, and so, yeah, there are women who disagree, but I would argue that they're missing.
They're not understanding the.
They're not understanding the evidence, and they're being ignorant to the issues because they're as much a part of the system, and
yeah,
like,
one of my favorite YouTubers there for a while was Karen Strawn, who is a very, very fucking vocal anti-feminist. And for the core of her stuff, it comes down to men are marginalized too. Men have problems too. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, you're making a straw man here. Feminism is equality between both sexes. That's it.
And I'm sorry, but women are still a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
They are. It's okay to focus on women's issues, but
women have all the rights men have right now, but they don't get to exercise them in the way that men are privileged to do.
Right, and it's a fight and it's a struggle.
Every goddamn time, yeah.
And there are women actively working to keep men in that place of privilege. They do.
Case in point, Felicia. I do a podcast. Nobody gives a fuck what X has to say, but all of a sudden, Felicia's on a podcast. Oh my God. How dare you? Aren't you worried about your image? Like, what the fuck, people?
Apparently I talk about my boobs too much.
Tits. No, that's right. You don't like my boobs.
Yeah, I talk about boobs, my boobs, too much. And I'm just flashing them to be shocking. And
you're just using those to get ahead in the world.
Yeah. Look, yeah. You know, it's really funny because I'm not supposed to be a prude, but I'm not supposed to talk about this.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for question number 1. We could keep going for that one, but honestly, I don't speak for anybody but myself, and I stand up for people that are being marginalized when they're not around. So when you go, fucking women, right? You know, when other men are together, you know, the guys, this happens a lot. Don't fucking act like it hasn't happened. Fucking women, right? Be like, no. You know, upset person, you know, maybe, but you know. Anyway, number 2, do you want women to be equal, or do you want women to be a protected class? You can't have both. If you expect society to treat women as equal with men, why don't women have to take responsibility for their own safety?
Nobody is at fault when they are a victim.
No, you can't blame people for being a victim.
They are not responsible for being a victim. If a man is robbed, it's not his fault.
Oh, wait, you'll hear people come out and say, oh, well, if he didn't want his iPhone stolen, he shouldn't have had his white headphones in, or something like that. You've heard this argument before, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, but that's never...
He shouldn't have been wearing those nice clothes, but they don't go that far, you know. But no, they'll do that shit when it comes to be a woman that's been assaulted, you know.
Right.
She shouldn't have been wearing that revealing outfit. She was just asking for it.
But again, nobody can really define for me what is too revealing.
No.
So...
Go around wearing, you know...
But let's get back to this protected class thing, because they're completely Protected class doesn't mean privileged class. Protected class means we're gonna watch for these factors that create oppression. That's what that means. It doesn't mean special class.
No.
It doesn't mean privileged class.
Doesn't mean more rights than other people class, you know.
Oh, and let me just say, yeah, guys buy me drinks. And until I make as much as a man, they can keep buying me fucking drinks. Got it?
Well, and I just wonder, in that case, what the fuck do you think's going to happen when you buy somebody a drink?
It's never worked for a guy.
Are you expecting her to be like, oh, thanks for the shitty beer. You want to go get a blowjob? You know, like, no, that might happen for some people, but
as everyone knows, I met William at a bar.
Yeah.
And he didn't buy me a drink that night. But what he did do is play poker with me, and him and I showed each other our cards, and it was flirty, and it was fun, and it was silly. That's what we did.
Yeah.
You know, he engaged me in what I was participating in like a person.
Like a person, you know.
It's kind of weird.
Just because you buy somebody a drink doesn't mean you get to saddle up to him next to the beer like, so you appreciate that free liquor? Yes, I do. Now go fuck yourself, you know. So
yeah, nobody... Take responsibility for your own safety. Here's the ideal, guys. The ideal is that nobody has to lock their doors at night. This may never happen. This may never happen, okay? We're not saying that this is what will happen, and that we're, but that is the ideal, that nobody has to lock their doors at night. Nobody ever has to worry about being stolen from. Nobody has to worry about ever being attacked. That we don't have to be afraid of, we don't have to secure our borders in the United States, because who cares? The borders are just simply cultural icons, and that's it.
They're imaginary lines.
Yeah, where we can help understand the formation of cultures, but that's the ideal. The ideal is that a woman can go into a group of men, all of them get drunk, and not worry about her getting raped, even if she knows none of them. That's the ideal, because that's her right.
That's one thing that really bothers me about a lot of rape cases I've heard recently, where the person's like, well, I was drunk. I was drunk.
Yeah,
how many, I know it lowers inhibitions, and you might have bad decision-making processes as you're drunk, but at the same time, exactly how many beers does it take for you to get a little bit rapey? I've
said some weird things when drunk, but I still never raped anyone.
I've got them on video. But no, you've never gone like, you're just asking for it, X. I'm not really.
Whoa.
I know. No.
Sorry, that's like
happening.
Even like no.
I just don't understand when people use that, and so.
One side note: none of what we're saying here, none of what we do here is being forced on anyone. You don't like it?
Nope. Don't listen.
Don't listen. Go away.
Okay, number 3. What are you afraid will happen when you leave your quote-unquote safe space?
Yeah, that's not what a safe space is.
Hey,
You're misunderstanding.
dummy, you're bastardizing the term safe space.
Yeah, that's a safe space. Isn't nobody can ever speak out against what I have to say ever. A safe space is literally a thematic focus on an issue.
Which means
just a focus.
If it's a safe space for rape victims, you get to go and listen to everything they have to say, regardless of whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's it.
And you don't get to say a fucking thing back to them.
In that forum.
Yeah.
Outside that forum, you can say whatever the fuck you want. It's their fucking stage. Let them fucking have it. That's
that's censorship. How dare you take away my First Amendment rights?
It's not though.
No, we'll just take our game and go somewhere else.
I actually had this conversation with my family last night. My mom was like, Black Lives Matter is making a safe space for black people, and white people aren't allowed to speak. That's segregation. I said, no, Mom, it's not.
No, they have a different experience than those fucking white people do.
And I said, it's a thematic focus.
Yeah.
Think of it like in art. If you say all art matters, well, duh. But but if we're going to talk about a specific painting, let's say we're going to talk about the Venus de Milo. Mm-hmm. Golden Age of Greece, brilliant sculpture, absolutely amazing. If we're talking about that, and we're talking about this sculpture, you don't go, well, yeah, but what about the Mona Lisa? The safe space
era, different medium, different everything.
That's irrelevant.
That's like the meme currently being tossed around about how, when the war on Christmas thing starts happening, we should all just say hashtag all holidays matter. Yep. Exactly. Which I'm going to do, and it's going to piss some people off. But
it's going to be fun. That one's going to be fun. But so if black people want a chance to just talk about the experience of being
a black person, yeah,
shut the fuck up for 2 hours.
Listen.
Let them have it.
And listen and learn.
You know what? That would be best. That's the best advice. But if you don't wanna, don't go.
Yeah.
Don't go into their safe space. You don't. Shut the fuck up for a minute. Your voice doesn't always have to have the stage.
Yep. And as we were talking pre-show, you want a good example of that? Go and listen to Ishmael Brown's Angry Black Rants podcast. The latest one, I don't remember the exact title of it, but fucking hell, what a poignant fucking episode. It was really goddamn good. And you know what? It essentially was a person of color safe space, because you had 2 black gentlemen that were talking about everything that's been going on recently. And you know what? My input was not needed, necessary, or anything, and I gleaned a whole bunch of shit from that. And you know what? They said white people this, white people that, and guess what? I didn't get offended, because I'm not that white person,
Right. And maybe, just maybe, if you catch a glimmer of your behavior in that,
Yeah.
you analyze it.
No
and you
shit.
go, am I a part of the problem? Let me think about this for a second. Just think. It's not personal. They're not attacking you, Jeffrey.
Yeah. Or you, Matthew. You're not the king of everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, number 4. If feminism and egalitarianism are both about equal rights, then why does one start with a gendered prefix while the other one is entirely gender neutral? Because shitbag shitlords like you that don't like to use the word feminism.
You just want to ignore women's issues is what it is. That's you egalitarian fucktards. Look, egalitarian is a broad spectrum. Feminism, again, is a focus. It's a focus.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of when you bring up the definition, the R and Raw definition, the dictionary definition of feminism, equal rights between genders.
Yeah.
Okay. What about that says to you, well, I'm not that. I'm an egalitarianist.
Look, okay, you know what? No, I'm gonna be candid about this.
Yeah.
Yes, feminism is about the goal between the equal rights of between the genders. Here's the reality: women still are not equal, especially women of color. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there is such a thing as white feminism, and we and us feminists have a responsibility to, especially as white ones, to say especially women of color. But there, so if we still have an issue where women are not equal, which we do, fuck you, we
all over
do,
the place, yeah.
then we need to focus on women sometimes. Okay,
Yeah.
it's okay. It is okay for us to say we're going to talk about women's stuff right now. You know what? And it's not sexist to say we're not going to talk about men right now because men are always getting the fucking floor. It's constant. Okay. Let's take a small
The
little
actions
group.
of you as president of Atheist of Utah. If you were a man, would anybody give a shit? No, because
well, they
you're a
would.
man.
They certainly wouldn't be attacking me the same way.
No, definitely not. And so I'm just going to put an end to this one because you know what? Egalitarianism is just a fancy word for you not to feel oogie about having the prefix fem in there.
And egalitarianism also encompasses the role of race, which you also seem to want to actually be ignoring.
Yeah.
You're not an egalitarian if you're not addressing the subcategories of feminism and racism and disability and
all rights matter.
All that stuff. All rights matter.
That's exactly what it is. I'm going to make a t-shirt with that shit.
That's exactly what it is. Hashtag all rights matter.
Yep. Okay, number 5. What do you hope to gain by bringing back racial segregation?
Nobody's segregating shit. Shut the fuck up.
No. If anything, it's the white shitlords that want to disappear into their own la-la land of the 60s and 50s, as they like to constantly fucking bring up by the GOP. We need to make America great again. Mr. Trump, what exactly does that mean?
It means white power again.
Yeah, exactly.
White male power.
Well, and as he was talking after the fucking Baton Rouge thing tonight, we need someone in charge that is going to show power. And I went, wow, that's a fascist comment.
He's a fascist.
He really is.
He is a fascist. And he says, we're the party of law and order.
Oh, man.
What he's saying in that statement is, those of you who disagree with this
are going to go away.
Yeah, we are going to shut you up.
Yep.
We are going to. He is fundamentally disagreeing with the right to free speech in that moment.
Terrible. Yeah, we're not trying to bring back racial segregation. We're just trying to let those people that have been marginalized for a really fucking long time get their voice out there. How about that?
Just have a fucking voice.
And as Ishmael Brown said on his last episode that he had, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but he said, all of the problems that have been plaguing minorities for years and years and years don't get any fucking attention until they're happening to white people.
Oh, there it is. He's right.
And so he said, okay, college is too expensive. Wow, that's amazing. It's been that way for minorities for a really fucking long time. But all of a sudden, you get all these millennial whites that can't go to college.
No, he's not wrong. How about
houses are too expensive?
Police brutality is starting to plague white people pretty prevalently as well.
Well, it's because we have a fucking paramilitary force instead of a police organization.
Right. But now we're listening.
Yeah.
Now we're fucking listening.
Now we're listening. Okay, let's see. Number 6. Why do you think that every cis white male is born racist? Because we're all a little racist.
They're not born racist. It's a cultural learned behavior.
No, I disagree with that a little bit, because we are innately, from the day we were born, attracted to our own in-groups.
Yeah, but the in-groups can be remarkably diverse in certain areas.
They can. But if a kid has never had any kind of exposure to black people...
Right, then it's a learned behavior.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that it happens not because...
Oh, you mean this is a complex issue that we can't simplify?
Yeah, we can't say it's nature or nurture. It's both.
Oh, and, you fucking assholes, people of color and women buy into the same system of privilege. Black math teachers will be harder on black math students. I'm not... You're going to twist this. You're going to make me... You're going to make it sound like I'm saying that they think black people are lesser too. No, it's a system.
Yep.
It's a system. And it is designed to favor certain individuals. And they are not isolated from the cultural story we've been told over and over as well, even if they're aware of it. Okay, just last night, I had a talk with William about feeling unattractive. And he's like, but you're awesome, and I don't know why you're putting this much worry into it. First of all, you're beautiful. Let me know all the things you should say. And I'm like, because
other women.
Because women are so heavily taught that their worth is based on being attractive, yep, that I can never be attractive enough.
No, especially when you look at magazine covers and shit.
And I know that's incorrect. Doesn't matter. The synapses have been formed. The bias has already been created, and I'm trying to fight it, but it's still fucking there. And that's what I'm talking about. We can be aware of the problem, and it's still something we have to fight every day.
Yep. Number 7. How can you possibly say that the phrase "all lives matter" is somehow racist?
Because you're disregarding a specific focus of a minority group who has been consistently marginalized. It's racist.
All lives matter. I just really fucking hate that term. Or even worse is the blue lives matter people.
Blue lives don't exist. You choose to be a cop.
Yeah. It's something you can stop being.
Yeah. Nobody is born blue.
Oh, there's some people that disagree with you there.
Great.
And we had a fun family activity today, and I don't mean to bring this up to say shit about family or anything like that, but everybody's painting rocks and putting them in this nice little garden, putting names on things and everything. And all of a sudden, the police family has to paint the blue line with the black stripes around it. And I'm like, way to politicize this shit. Thank you so much.
You know what? A lot more civilians have been killed than police. And it's safer to be a police officer than it's ever been. In fact, the police are endangering the public nowadays.
I love how they're just allowed to break the law. I just love how, I don't want to wait at this red light. I'm going to turn my lights and sirens on and go through this light. I'm going to speed legally. Fuck you guys. I'm so tired of that shit with our fucking cops in this state. They are just a higher class of people than human being,
Yeah, but it's us versus them.
Yep. Okay, number 8. So if a drunk man sleeps with a drunk woman, the woman is incapable of giving consent, but the man is?
Not necessarily.
No, neither of them can give proper consent, but he initiated.
It depends. It's context, guys. It's fucking context.
Yeah. I've had friends tell me about them waking up after being blackout drunk and having a woman on top of them. And most guys would be like, yeah, eating some pussy. No, he's being raped, guys.
That's still rape.
Yeah.
If you have an established relationship,
yeah,
or there's consent before and during drunkenness, and then okay, yeah, you know what? And there are a lot of times women get drunk and make a bad decision, and they still don't say it's rape. Okay, that happens all the time. I've usually made that decision sober.
Yeah.
But horny. Like, and then I go, oh, that was
that was bad. I gotta chew my arm off to get out of here.
But, and that's a thing. But if they're both drunk and one of them says no, that still stands. Okay?
I think maybe they were trying to say the cases where they were both drunk and they said okay, and they had sexy times, and then afterwards the woman goes, "You date raped me," or something like that.
That does happen. Yeah, you know what? That does happen. And here's why that happens. It probably.
I think you have to prove intent on something like that.
First of all, you do. Yeah. Second of all, there are times when women claim rape after consent, and this is because we shame female sexuality so much that women are ashamed of consenting to sex.
Hey, worldwide listeners, there are people still cutting clits off of girls and labia because of this shit.
Sewing vaginas shut.
Gross.
Okay. That's still a thing. And here in this country, women, the word slut is still a thing. And
at the same time,
yes,
being a stud is also a thing. Ugh.
Yeah. And yeah, and that's the thing, is that
Gross.
Guys are congratulated after getting any of it, and women can be condemned so fast. And so yes, there are, and no, should she claim rape if it wasn't? No, she shouldn't. But fuck, can we address the demonization of female sexuality already?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just got done talking in the news about a bill that's demonizing women for daring to have sex outside of marriage. How dare you fucking sluts? How dare you?
Yep. Okay. And so yeah, here's the other side of that coin. If she is unable to consent, and this is often, yes, like you said, there have been men who have been unable to consent and woken up with a woman on top of them. Yep. That's incorrect. That's wrong. It's rape. It's still wrong.
Yep.
More often than not, we find, like the Stanford rape case recently, she was unable to give consent.
Mm-hmm. So it's an automatic no.
Yeah, she was so intoxicated, she was unable to give consent. And people will still say, yeah, but were they both drunk? I'm like, she had pine needles stuck in her hair. Her arms were scraped to hell.
I'm sorry, laughing is the only thing I could do. I'm not just...
I know you're not trivializing. You're laughing because how could anyone say she consented to
exactly
something like this? She didn't.
Well, she wanted it. She got drunk in the first place. Me getting drunk isn't me putting a fucking sign on my back saying, please, rape me. You know, it's nothing like that. It's I need to blow some fucking pressure off, otherwise I will turn into a fucking vegetable.
She was unconscious when she was found.
Behind a dumpster.
By two Swedish men. One who was so upset that he vomited. Yeah, no.
Disgusting.
No. If she is so drunk that she cannot consent, if he is so drunk that they cannot consent, it's not automatically the man's fault. We're talking about context here, guys.
Yeah, but he was a good swimmer.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry. Okay, so in number 9, if your version of equality, in your version of equality, will white men ever have a voice in society?
They fucking do.
Or will white men always be too privileged to participate in discussion? Okay, and I got this from a video. You guys were not told that you can't make that video. You were not told you can't post it on YouTube. You were not told you can't ask these questions. None of that happened. None of that happened. You're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. And your like to dislike ratio is through the fucking roof. So guess what? There's a lot of people that agree with you on this shit.
They're wrong.
Good for you. I'm glad you found your audience.
I'm not.
But at the same time,
I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed. I'm just saying I don't like them or their audience.
Obviously, you have a voice in society. Otherwise, you would have been shut the fuck down. And that's not censorship. I don't care what the fuck you say. We allow horrible people to say horrible things, and they usually go out of business. Eventually, your guys' side will fucking lose.
Yeah.
One day.
It's called the marketplace of ideas, motherfuckers. And just because just because people are offended and say, no, you're not welcome to say this in my forum, is not censorship. And that's not saying you're not allowed to be a part of the discussion. It's saying, this is my forum and I don't need to have you here.
Yep, you can go start your own forum with blackjack and hookers.
Go start your own forum with blackjack and hookers.
Yep. Okay, so number 10. What is reverse racism? Like, what the actual fuck is it? Well, let me tell you what reverse racism is. It's when you attempt to rectify something that has been racist by overblowing shit. You know, when we find out that people in black communities are arrested more than white communities, that's you going into white communities and trying to police it the exact same way that you do in black communities. Instead of, you know, fixing the shit that you're doing in the one community, you double down on it. That's what reverse racism is.
See, and I wouldn't even call, I mean,
that's just racism. That's all that is.
Right. So, so I have a great explanation of reverse racism. If you had a time machine, and it's not mine, and I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. I found this on the, oh, damn it. We'll
just attribute everything to Reddit. Everything's on Reddit nowadays.
Anyway, it was a wonderful comedian, and he was black. And here, if you had a time machine, and you went back, and you compiled all the peoples of Asia and Africa and the New World to conquer the European nations, creating a system of economy to subjugate people of white skin, and particularly their women used as
currency,
breeding fodder.
Got it.
And objects of rape. And you create a system that is consistently worked against them. And then, even after you liberate them, you create laws that that force them into systems of poverty that make it almost impossible to escape generation after generation. And then, even once you get rid of those laws, you create a law enforcement system that inherently assumes them to be more violent and has a bias against them for some simple crimes of standing there.
Yeah.
Then
let me stop you and frisk you because you look suspect because of your skin.
Because you had the time machine. That would be reverse racism.
Exactly. I mean, there is actual definitions of this, but it is not. And I repeat, it is not, you know, shit like people not being able to get a entrance into a college because of affirmative action. That is not reverse racism.
Nope.
No.
But besides, by the way, affirmative action has not been shown to do that at all.
No.
So.
Nope, it doesn't do enough. I'm sorry, does not fucking do enough.
Doesn't do enough.
Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and jump to our next break, and we will be back with Fun with Real Audio. Great episode. Hopefully you guys are listening and enjoying. This is X, this is Felicia. We'll be right back. All right, it is now time for Fun with Real Audio. And unfortunately, wow. Boy, do we have a lineup for you guys this week.
X is gonna torture me.
Yeah,
Woo!
The first one out of the barrel that we have for this week is the Duck Dynasty patron himself, Phil Robertson, who wants to talk about Donald Trump. And
X gonna torture me. It's Fun with Real Audio.
I've been honestly trying to find shorter clips, and the shorter the clips become, the more pissed off I get listening to him, because I cannot imagine somebody muddling their way through life, becoming a fucking millionaire, selling duck calls and stupid TV hokum to everybody. Mm-hmm. When you look back before they had their reality show, he didn't look like this. He didn't look like the fucking shabby, you know, hermit from fucking down south Louisiana.
He wasn't doing the lumbered sexual thing.
Yeah, he wasn't doing lumber sexual. He wasn't wearing the fucking.
By the way, have you seen him
everywhere.
Objectify women on Fox News? Because I've seen him do it. I've seen him.
Damn, I hate this man so bad. I hate Phil Robertson so
He's
goddamn
allowed to
much.
sexualize and objectify women, but
so he wants to talk about Donald Trump. So here we go. If it's playing, wait.
People said they won't.
Let me start that again.
Trump's what the people said. He's who the people said they won't. They said they want him.
Not won't.
I'm like, I know Hillary Clinton's record because she has one, a long one.
So Trump doesn't have one.
What about Trump, you fucking degenerate? God.
Trump has a long record.
A very long record.
Includes 2 rape allegations and 1 alleged rape allegation, just so everyone knows.
You know, but Hillary, she's making people secretly disappear.
Or not alleged, attempted rape. Oh, and by the way, the attempted rape, that woman has never backed down that statement, not once. She even recently came out and said, no, he totally tried to rape me. And recently.
What really makes me laugh about the people that want to do this whole Hillary is a mastermind of some, you know, crime family of politicians kind of thing, be like, wouldn't you think that she would want, you know, a certain intern to disappear before that made the fucking news?
There's a lot of things she could have made disappear if that's the case.
Yeah, a lot. But, you know, no, we're not going there. Let's see. Play.
I'm looking at her record saying, no. I look up at Trump, I said, well, he doesn't have a record.
He honestly just said that Trump doesn't have a record.
Trump has a record, just not in government,
Trump
military, or politics.
Was a liberal before running for this fucking office. He was a liberal. He bought and sold politicians. His companies had taken advantage of tax code that I'm sure he lobbied for. He had gone bankrupt 4 times. He had married and divorced 3 different women.
Which inherently is not wrong.
No, but at the same time, there are reasons that marriages end besides, you know, I just don't want to be married to you anymore.
But he has one of those ex-wives.
Meanwhile, Hillary
he raped her.
Has been married to the same fucking guy for decades. Had every reason to divorce his ass. Hasn't. Stuck by him.
No, but she's at fault because he cheated on her.
Yeah, it's her fault somehow.
And as far as I'm concerned, none of my business.
Do you guys not see the flashing lights of sexism going on? Do you not see that right now?
Dude, they made fun of her and Elizabeth Warren for wearing matching outfits.
You don't talk about guys wearing the same cut of suit, do you?
The same fucking outfits.
I didn't mean to get stuck in the reeds with... But he just honestly said that Trump doesn't have a record.
So that's
Fuck you. Fuck you, Phil Robertson. You and you're like talking about decapitating her head off. Fuck you. God. Ugh.
I hear what he says. I hear what he does. I have sent multiple people to him, and they all laughed when I said it. I said, but the ultimate for America would be we convert Mr. Trump. That way all the dirt they're going to drag up on him and all of the whatever indiscretions he's been involved in and the sins he's committed, if he would but be born again, he could then tell them, that's the old me. I've been born again. This is the new Donald Trump.
Oh, no, darling, no. Did you know that the largest voting bloc is non-believers now?
Yeah.
And we aren't buying your I was born again. That's the old me bullshit. We don't give a fuck. Your record stands.
Hillary has not changed her position on being a Methodist. Like, ever. She might be more open to secular voters because she realizes that's a large fucking voting bloc. But she's not given up, you know, her religion. And Trump isn't, I mean, okay, I can't say that he won't, but, you know, because Adolf Hitler really was a fucking hardline Catholic, especially because he got their favor and everything. And yes, I just went full Godwin there.
No, he's a fascist. It's a perfectly reasonable explanation. It's not going Godwin.
He will do whatever the fuck is necessary to make sure he secures power. Mm-hmm. We're not going to see a night of long knives because this is 2016, and I don't think that would be politically expeditious for him because, you know, things would start to be known a lot fucking quicker than they were back then. But all of a sudden, any kind of dirt or grime or anything people can find, you can just brush it off, be like, oh, I'm born again.
Yeah, that's exactly what they think.
I don't get that. I don't understand how people can say, oh, well, I was a total shitbag, but, you know, I found Jesus.
Have you been watching Preacher at all?
No, I've been watching Ray Donovan a lot. So
okay. So there's a guy, he's about to be a child molester. He's talking, yeah, he goes to the preacher, with a confession about his obsessive thoughts over this girl.
Yeah.
And he does it in a way that's unapologetic. He's just absolving himself of his sin.
Oh.
You see.
That's fucking gross.
It's really gross. So, I mean, the preacher eventually goes in and through the power of a demon makes him forget about her. Yeah, that's the story. Spoilers?
Whatever.
But my point is,
people listening to this probably care more about what's happening politics-wise besides what's happening TV-wise.
No, I was reflecting art. Art reflecting life, or life. The art of it is that there are people who use the religion to say, "I'm absolved, gonna go on my way now. I met the prerequisite. I confessed it."
But for some reason, Hillary is a non-starter. You can't go with her at all. But Trump, through his wonderful power.
What if Hillary was born again?
That wouldn't count because, she's just doing that for political, gains. She's just lying.
No, but he's sitting there saying that nobody could call him on his shit if he said he was born again.
And bullshit. I call bull fucking shit on that. I would call any one of these people on their shit, even if they were born again. That's the old me. This is the new me. Tigers don't change their stripes, you idiot.
I'm sorry, but water doesn't make you not a shitty person. Actively admitting your faults and working on them and saying that you're not going to be fixed overnight, maybe I'll start listening. Yep. Maybe.
Yep. Okay, Phil, finish up here.
It would be a starting point. And I can see it now. Donald Trump and his cabinet, there's old Newt or some one of those guys that get in there, sessions, and the
Pence.
camera keeps panning over, and then they get to me and they say, "This man is his spiritual advisor." And I'm sitting there.
Oh my God, he has delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
I mean, he has many other delusions. If you just go back and listen to him talking about the atheists killing the Christian family and shit.
Oh my God, so gross.
Oh, man, it's fucking terrible.
Now that would send a shockwave through America, and they say the left-wingers would be jumping out of buildings saying, "It is over as we know it."
Yes, because that's something to celebrate. People committing suicide because they feel like there is no hope. God damn it, Phil Robertson. You have no redeeming qualities about you at all. And you go to these whatever the fuck sessions that you're having. Do you not realize you are Osama bin Laden? You look like him, you dress like him, you talk religion just like him, and you're just as rich as him. The only thing missing is that you don't have a fucking first world country trying to hunt your ass down.
He's probably got mountains of porn too.
Man, God. Fuck you, Phil Robertson. Jesus, man.
Fuck you.
Okay, next up on the docket, we have Kelly Shackelford. I don't know who this lady is.
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind through all this is just that evil will come in when there's a vacuum. And
that's the only thing that rushes in when there's a vacuum? I mean, a vacuum, doesn't that mean that there's nothing in there? Does evil have mass and take up space? Does it matter? I mean, what the fuck is evil? These guys can't give you a definition for that either. You got nothing. I know you got nothing.
I got nothing.
And our country is moving away from God.
Oh, there we go.
As it moves away from God, there's all kinds of little tussles going on over morality because it's sort of like God's been pushed out of the field.
No. Let me stop you there, asshole. No. There are active conflicts going on culturally speaking because as people are moving away from mythology and relying on God to fix their problems, because you're right, the country is becoming more and more secular and godless. As people are moving away from that, they're saying God isn't going to fix this shit. God isn't going to. So they are starting to act. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. You're seeing some unrest right now. That's called progress, motherfucker. And right now, it's kind of fucking scary. But we cannot keep going the way things have been going. It's bad. The way things have been going have been wrong. The only way we can have a brighter, better future is for this to happen. I wish it didn't involve violence. I really do.
I didn't tell you, but the family members that I choose not to name talked about the whole police shooting tonight and how they said Obama's going to come out and issue martial law. It is now officially midnight here in Utah, and that means 2 a.m. Eastern time where Obama lives, or currently lives. I haven't heard any directives about martial law. It's not going to happen.
There's not going to be martial
That guy
law.
doesn't want to be president anymore.
No, he really doesn't.
He's done.
Oh, Jesus, I can't blame him. But no.
Anyway, yeah, vacuums.
So
and
yes, you're
evils
right.
and-
They're, but this isn't evil.
No.
This is not evil. This is just the nature of things.
How dare you not have prayer in school anymore? Don't you know how terrible that is?
But the thing is that they're sitting there saying that things were more peaceful. Things weren't peaceful for the people who didn't have rights.
Yeah,
Don't you
one's
understand?
marginalized, yeah.
Yeah, the marginalized, it wasn't peaceful for. It hasn't been peaceful for. Just because your world wasn't shaken up by conflict doesn't mean that there wasn't shit going on. People were being killed. People were being harmed. Women were being raped, and they were ignored and blamed, and their lives were not peaceful.
Yeah, to use
But
their own
that's the
analogy,
reality.
you have the four horsemen knocking on the white person's door now.
Yep.
And that is rocking their fucking world to the core.
Yep.
Not bothering me, because I've seen the writing on the wall for a long fucking time.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah, anyway.
yeah.
And when that happens, I mean, Satan's going to use that as his playground. And so
Satan's playground.
we're seeing things
That's
like
your
this
vagina.
racial tension and these other things that are almost being fomented, but I think ultimately we have to, on point of view especially, right? We have to look at this from the spiritual level.
No, you don't.
And
No, you really don't. No.
That,
because
first of all, that doesn't mean shit.
that doesn't mean a
Level,
fucking thing to me.
that means his feelings.
Yeah, really.
And this is what we're going to see if our country moves more and more away from the truth. And
Truth being God.
Truth being your interpretation of a specific book that is
Big book of
one
multiple choice,
specific
yeah.
version of a specific book that is.
I want to make a version of the Bible where it's a choose your own adventure. Wouldn't that be fun? That'd be great.
You could totally do it too.
It'd be great.
and so that it's just an extra incentive for every pastor, for every church, for every listener of point of view
This
to
program.
reach out beyond your own cubbyhole, and people need to know the Lord, and that's the ultimate hope for turning this around and having less and less of these type of horrific things happen.
Come knock on my door, babies.
Get out of your cubbyhole.
Here's the deal. No, come knock on my door. You won't like any of it.
Nope. I will be
'Cause I'm gonna
courteous.
make you
I will be
question
nice.
shit.
I will offer you punch.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to get a glass of wine and we're going to have a talk.
But you're not going to like what I have to say.
No, you're
And
really
you're
not
not
going
going
to
to listen to me.
And, well,
And you're going to stomp your feet and you're going to just try to get out of the room.
I'm just going to ask you a whole lot of questions.
Yeah.
Like, really hard. Like, a lot of questions.
So Satan is fomenting racial tension in America. How fucking dare you? No, he's not.
And that's basically a way of him saying that black people are more susceptible to Satan as well.
Do you know who's fomenting racial tension in America?
You motherfucker.
All of the people saying, all lives matter.
That guy.
All of
This
you.
guy. Yep. You guys. You're the ones ignoring the problem. You're the one allowing this to happen.
Yeah, but white people are killed by cops too.
Of course they are.
Yeah, that's what's happening. And
At
you
a
know,
way lower rate. Yes, the number is higher. I understand. By simple math.
look in Malheur, Oregon. The standoff with the Bundy clan.
There it is.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine if that was a bunch of black separatists? Okay, probably
No.
we never would have heard about it because they would have scrubbed the news, but it would have been over in a matter of minutes. Because they wouldn't allow that to happen. They'd be like, those goddamn darkies are over there
We don't
taking
know
over.
we don't know what they're capable of. We had no choice but to act.
And not only like shoot to kill, but reload kind of shit. And when I watched a guy that was being held off at a standoff with cops where he had a pistol in his hand, they shot him once and they let him get back up, but they didn't dare put him down for good because, he's white. How dare we? Sorry. I know this has been a really racially charged episode, but god damn it, the last couple of weeks have been really hard.
I'm so sick of it.
Anyway, let's move on to our next one. That leads us into Pat Robertson, who's going to be the last one that we're going to do this week because
Oh, good, I have some wine left.
because this episode hurts. God.
Let me just prep for this. Hold on.
Impressive.
Yeah.
You guys should check that out on YouTube. Yeah. Let's hear what Pat Robertson has to say.
Okay, Marlene says, we have the freedom from religion. People and the American Civil Liberties Union continually fighting against Christians in all areas of our lives. Do they...
Okay, ladies, stop reading because you're stopping at the end of the line. You guys can't see it here, but I'm watching it on the phone. And they get to the end of the line. It's like, we have people from the freedom from religion people and the civil liberties union. Like, she's hitting a hard break at the end of every line of this dialogue. She's not like reading it like a normal person would, where you look for periods and commas and semicolons and stuff like that. No. Anyway, I'll let her finish.
ever fight against any other religions because they find their actions offensive, such as praying in the streets? Are we the only target?
So, what they really want to know is, does the FFRF and the ACLU protest against any other religion besides Christianity?
Well, not really here in this country because no other religion has a place of privilege here.
Yeah, no other religion deigns to think that they can do the shit that the Christians can.
The reality is that the Hindus don't have power here, that the Muslims don't have power here. Like, that's the reality.
Yeah.
And so I guarantee that if you went and talked to the individuals working in these places, they would have some strong words about Muslims in the Middle East and Hindus in India.
Yep.
I'm sure that you'd find a lot of words on those people, but that's outside their purview. There's literally nothing they can do about that lawsuit-wise because they're here in America.
Oh, but Pat has other reasons behind that. He wants to let you know why he thinks that these organizations are fighting against Christianity.
I think that's very perceptive. The truth is, they understand Christianity is where the power is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I knew he was going to say that. It's more true. Therefore, no.
Therefore, it's more real. No, it's just the fact that you guys are over 60% of the fucking country.
You just have more
even
power.
Your garden variety, non-really believing kind of Christian still gives you guys credence to do this shit.
Yep.
The power doesn't exist in Islam. The power doesn't exist in Baha'i or some of these fringe religions. They don't.
In Baja?
What the fuck was that? That was racist,
Probably
right?
trying to say Bahia or something like that, but
It was racist, right?
no, yeah, Pat Robertson. Of course, it's racist.
Fight against them. They do anything they want to. But they fight against Christianity because Christianity touches the souls of people, and the devil regards Christianity as a threat. Of course it is a threat.
No, it's because you're
we're gonna
privileged in this
overturn
country.
him
You're
and
the
his
ones in
kingdom.
power. Jesus.
So you're very perceptive in saying that.
You're so perceptive. You're so goddamn perceptive thinking that Christians are the ones being persecuted. Oh my gosh, we're being so persecuted by these organizations.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's that you guys are the only ones with power in this country.
No.
We can speak. We actively on the show speak against Islam often.
Yeah.
And we speak against Hinduism and even Buddhism on the show.
Yeah, because there's a lot of bad Buddhists going around too. There's a lot of bad. There's bad everybody of every religion.
Yeah.
There's even bad atheists, which is not a religion, but there are lots of bad atheists too.
There's a bunch.
But you know what those bad atheists aren't doing? Killing
Doing it.
people.
That's it's funny, but not one.
Well, actually, I take that back because there was the one atheist guy that killed those people over parking spots last year.
Yeah, that's right.
But that has nothing to do with the fact that he was atheist. You know?
Maybe it colored his opinion even stronger, but fuck that guy.
Yeah, but you know, normal. Okay, I can't say normal atheism. Atheism, as it exists right now, has a color problem, has a tint problem, has a group problem. It is mostly, like we see in a lot of things, white cisgendered males.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And unfortunately here in Utah, it's that way also. It's especially that way in Utah.
Yeah.
That's not to say there's not great fucking people in the community. I love almost everybody that I've met at any of the Atheist of Utah parties, and I'm not trying to make this specifically Atheist of Utah. I'm just saying any secular event I've gone to, the people are fucking great. The only problem is I can understand someone from the outside looking at it and be like, I don't necessarily want to go to that because I don't feel like I'll feel welcome, you know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Pat Robertson's finished up there. Christianity is where the power lies. Did you not know that? They're the most important religion, of course.
It's not that they speak to us more.
No.
First of all, most of us come from some form of Christianity.
It's not like they had me as a captive audience when I was a kid. It's not like I got to say no to going to church as a kid.
Exactly. It's not like the reality is that the reason that there are lawsuits against Christians and there's a reason that there's so much active effort against Christians trying to violate separation of church and state is simply because they're the ones doing it here.
Yeah. They're
Muslims
the ones
in the
trotting
United
on
States,
the First Amendment.
Muslims in the United States are not trying to get them special privileges. They're not trying to get Muslim prayer in school. They're not even trying. Okay? They are just saying, but we're not Christians. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And that is, and how do they not understand that they are pushing these extreme moderate Muslims can be pushed into extremism because they are being told that they need to be Christian, that they are sinners for not being Christian.
Mm-hmm.
How are they not getting this? That them forcing prayer in school is only going to make more extreme. Jesus Christ, is evident everywhere.
It makes sense to us. It
Yeah,
does not make sense to the rest of the world.
Once you're on the outside looking in, you're like, the whole system's fucked.
Like, you guys are trying to prop up fucking a tent that's falling down with all sorts of stop measure tent poles, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work because the whole cloth, the whole fucking thing is going to come down around you. Mm-hmm. And the rest of us are going to be caught in the whole breadth of everything.
Yep.
It's sad. Anyway, that's it for our Fun with Real Audio segment. We'll be right back with our final thoughts on the show, and we'll be right back. This is X. This is Felicia, Utah Outcasts. All right, so we are back for our last little break that we're going to have here, and that's going to lead us into our Let's Finish the Show segment. And, you know, usually on this point we ask either our panel, and unfortunately for you guys, it's been a very intimate time for me and Felicia the last couple of episodes. It's been fun. I've enjoyed this.
It's been fun. Miss our Kyle, though.
We do miss Kyle. God damn it. Hope that shit levels off. I mean, not specifically for show purposes and stuff like that, but I hope he can get back to being a more complete and whole person than what's been going on.
Someday, soon, eventually.
Yeah. It's going to be a bit. I know it's going to be a bit. It's going to be a process for him.
He's got a rough road right now, but at the end of the day,
he loves you guys. He misses being on the show. I know he wishes he could be here, but it's not healthy for him to be here right now. So, and anyway, we're going to go into our highs and lows or whatever else we want to talk about. We could share something we've been doing this week, TV show, movie, music, whatever, or a tale of being a stranger in a strange land, like I did with the Mormon baptism this last week. However, for this week, I'm going to do high and low, and my high point for the week would be a strange combination between Pokémon Go, because that shit's just fun.
It's so fun.
And
it is so fun.
I took my middle child out for about 40 minutes of playing around in the park in our backyard, where we just sat in the shade, and I put on a lure module for the Pokestop that we were next to. Yeah, I'm that fucking nerdy. Shut up, people. I paid $1 for it. Shut up. And we sat there in the shade of this tree.
Sorry, real fast. I do want to interject. I love that you cannot buy all the things to cheat at this game.
No,
you can't. You can buy some basic things.
You can buy some stuff to help you, but not enough to make it.
But that's like ethical mini purchases because you can't, they're not going to bill you into oblivion.
You can't buy a Charizard. You can't just buy something. Yeah.
You can't buy Stardust, for instance.
Nope.
I'm like, you know what? Good on them.
That's cool.
They can do the mini purchases because they are like, you can buy, you can buy just enough to keep having fun with the game.
Yeah. And the park behind my house has been a real hotspot because we have 7 or 8 Pokestops and we have 2 gyms, literally within a quarter mile of behind my back of my house.
Yeah.
And it's all over the fucking place. So I put something on Facebook the other day where at 1 a.m. I was getting ready to go to bed after doing show notes, and I look at the Pokemon Go app, and there were at least 3 Pokestops that had lure modules put into them at 1 o'clock in the fucking morning. There's some people hardcoring this shit, and I love that.
Hey, they're outside, aren't they? They're
And
walking.
yeah, and I would love to put more time into it, but honestly I can't. But the time that I do put into it, I like the fact that I can rope my kids into it. I can take them outside. I can have them appreciating the outdoors, sitting in the shade of a nice sunny park, and all of a sudden Rattata pops up. I tell her to tap it, let her throw 5 or 6 Pokeballs before I go, okay, that's too many, and throw my own, you know.
William just bought a bunch and let his 3-year-old throw them, and apparently he's catching them.
Yeah,
So.
it's just fun. And so I love the fact that I can get my kids involved in augmented reality and have fun with stuff like that.
Oh, and by the way, how delightful is that augmented reality thing? Like, people always bitch about, like, you're not experiencing the real world, but
Yeah, listen to the Patreon show this week, people. This is a good episode for you guys to to register.
But the like our national parks are like, guys, we got Pokemon. Guys, we got Pokemon here. Come on.
Weber State University sent me an email letting me know of what to expect, like the rare spots where you can find things on the campus. Like, somebody there had been paying enough attention that they were able to make a map of the campus.
I know of a certain campaign that's doing something similar.
Yeah, nothing you guys should worry about or, think about. But, this guy right here, look on YouTube, Mike Weinholtz is doing stuff like that.
It's you know what? It is. We haven't seen something this largely cultural, like such a large cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
For a very long time. And you know what? I said for the first few days, like I downloaded it and I was like, oh, it's cute. And like, I just didn't. And then
you don't realize how much of a life changer this is.
It is
for
a
lot of people.
social thing, though.
Yeah.
You do this with people, and it's so fun. So I show up because William was in Alaska. He gets back, and that the night that he got back, I picked him up from the airport, and we had our kissy, lovey, yay! And then we went to work because adults.
That's what you do.
And I get back over to his place later in the evening, and he shows me his phone. He's got Pokemon Go. You want to go for a walk? And I'm like, yes, I do. And it's so fun, and we've had fun with it, and we talk about it,
and so that's going to tie into my low here in a minute. But another high point that I have is that on a whim, my wife has been talking for like the last year or so of going up to Camas, which is middle of fucking nowhere, Utah, people, guys. This is like, you have to go past 2 reservoirs that really are out in the middle of nowhere, like eastern Utah. And we're going out this way close to Wyoming and everything, and we go up to this place. It's about mile marker 17 near Mirror Lake. Like, we're talking like 10,000 something feet of elevation to go visit what is called the I don't know what the exact name. It's a fairy garden, but it's on steroids.
Okay, that sounds awesome. I like it already.
And we're talking easily, like, there's a pine grove up here. It takes a little bit of walking to get to, walking over river stones that are currently have water flowing around them and everything. If you couldn't walk on those, there's like wood bridges you can go over that are just felled logs, really, to get to this place. And you get there, and it is easily 2 or 3 square miles of fairy garden stuff. Like painted stones, people putting their like little houses up for fairies and stuff, and little fairy circles.
I love it.
And we took the kids up there.
Real, it's pretty and it's fun and it's whimsical. I love it.
And we took the girls there this weekend. I mean, today, and that's the reason I got the sunburn. If you guys were watching on YouTube, is that we went up there and we were there for like 3 hours, and I just had a fun time with letting them sit there and paint their rocks whatever color they wanted to paint them, sign them whatever name they wanted to sign. And then Dad had to go get the fucking He-Man rock to stake our own claim in this world that we're entering into, that we're going to visit every couple of years. And I just had a fun afternoon of, just being, having a little bit of whimsy. And I think everybody needs a little bit of that in their life, even though we had to drive like an hour and a half to get there.
No, I think whimsy is highly underrated in our society. It's written off as if it's frivolous or, not the right God or something.
Yeah.
But goddamn, can't we just enjoy it for what it is? It's delightful.
And We're having fun with the little kids saying like, yeah, you know, if you're here in the evening, all of these rocks turn into people. You know, you just jokingly say these kind of things with little kids and they get the whole like, really? And I know there's people probably listening that'd be like, how dare you tell your kids lies? I mean, we still do the Santa Claus thing in my house because I think that's teaching them to be better skeptics, you know.
Well, what about imagination, though?
What about having a little bit of fun in their life before becoming adults and everything being fucking sad, you know, all the time? I try not to watch news around the kids. I try not to let them see what I'm...
What about those moments?
Yeah.
No, I think that's an important thing for them to develop is the Star Trek ideal.
Yeah. And so...
Right? The beauty and the wonder and the joy. I think that's an important thing for kids to have before they're bogged down with cynicism and the realities of things. And yeah, it's kind of a pain in the dick once you learn it. But
yeah,
here's
absolutely.
the thing. I think that those of us who were fortunate enough to have the option to enjoy in the whimsy and find magic and beauty, and again, and I use these words poetically, people. I use the word soul poetically. I use the word magic poetically, and I'm allowed to do that.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called artistic license. You know what I mean? Fuck you. I don't mean it literally.
Fuck you.
But like, aren't we allowed to like
enjoy ourselves?
Aren't we allowed to let kids' imaginations go crazy and imagine the possibilities? Oh, these things become real. Like,
how could you not, after spending an hour and a half in a car, cooped up, bored? I mean, there's great things to see along the way, but getting to this place and seeing everything spread out in front of you with all of these stones that everybody's placed so caringly into circles and, you know, built little houses for fairies and stuff and all this wonderful just, you know, fantasy to just take place and be like, this is fucking cool. I mean, and I'm glad that I gave my kids, while they're young enough, a chance to enjoy some stuff like this.
Just fantasy. It's just pretend.
And so this ties back into the Pokémon Go kind of thing. And
yeah, it does.
My low point
fiction,
for this week.
It's pretend.
My low point for this week is catching holy hell from some people about my involvement in playing this game.
Seriously?
What the fuck is wrong with you people that it's not okay for me to enjoy outside time? Okay, well, you're looking at your phone the whole time. No, you're doing it wrong if you're doing that way.
Yeah, no.
You don't have to look at your phone the whole goddamn time. Are there people that walk around doing that? Yes. Are there people that have been injured because they haven't paid attention to the world around them? Yes. The game says be aware of your surroundings at all times.
You don't actually have to stare at your phone the whole time.
No, because you can keep it down and it'll vibrate when you get close to something.
Yeah.
How about that? And they're coming out with an accessory. You know.
Last night I was skipping around singing, fuck you very, very much. I was just skipping around, singing.
And so specifically...
And then I was like, oh, Pokemon. Boo, 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 boo.
And you're done, you know. But I got some holy hell from family members that are like, why are you wasting your time with that? And I'm like, aren't you the same person that bragged about getting to like level 300 in Candy Crush Saga? It's not the same thing. Yeah, you're right.
It's actually worse. It's actually worse. You're right.
Like, how much time did you spend on the toilet playing that? You know?
My fucking ex-husband used to say I was wasting my painting until he enjoyed painting, and then all of a sudden it was important. No, but it's every time somebody doesn't enjoy your hobby, they decide to deride it as frivolous.
I love it when they tell you to grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. I hate it when people tell me stuff like that. I'm 36.
You know what? No, asshole. You're a part of the problem.
Oh, we're losing your audio there, Felicia.
What? I didn't say anything for a second.
No, you're it's cutting out on you. Hang on. We'll wait for the resolution to come back. You're back.
Okay.
You're back.
All right. It told me to turn off my...
There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, so
okay.
I just hate it when people tell me to grow the fuck up. Like, I wasn't a Pokemon kid, so I don't know what the fuck they're telling me. I started playing Pokemon when I was like 16 or 17. And this is like back when Game Boy and Game Boy Color were like all you had. You didn't have the Advance, you didn't have the DS, you didn't have any of that stuff.
That's what I played too. I had Pokemon on my Game
so
Boy.
I enjoyed it. It was a fun game. And I never played
cards.
I never did the card game or anything like that. I never cared. I mean, I watched a couple episodes of the cartoon. If it was on, I wouldn't turn it off because
it's fuck out of the cartoon.
Because you know what? As a kid growing up in the 80s who loved anime, but it wasn't available, having anime on fucking television still blows my fucking mind. You know, being able to turn on Cartoon Network and catch Dragon Ball Z, that blew my fucking mind, you know?
Yeah, no, I watched the fuck out of the television show. Actually, this is funny. I was like on my first period ever.
I want to be the very best.
First period ever. And I started young. Like, I got my period at like 11 or 12.
Goddamn.
Yeah. Nah, and there's evidence that women are starting younger, but that's genetics. Like, every woman in my family, my grandma was like, yep, that's when I started. So, like, apparently the women in my family just hit it early. So I was like 11 or 12. So I was, sorry, I just realized how fucked up it would be. Like, if they bleed, they can breed. Because I was a child, right? When I started my period. So I was, and your first period is like an emotional wreck as a girl. Like, the hormones are just way too much to handle.
Well,
you
in the
bleed
world
for like 2 weeks straight.
And the world is fucking wrong during that whole time.
It's so scary. Like, there's like the emotional implication, but it's like, it's all insane.
And I know a lot of people would say that it's the mom's place to warn kids about stuff like that, but I have 3 daughters, and I have constantly told them, like, look, there's going to be a point where there's changes to your body, and I just want you to be aware of it so that you don't think that you're dying.
Oh, yeah, no, I was fully aware that I was going to have a period.
Oh, okay, good.
And that it was,
But you have to admit, here in Utah, there's a lot of people.
Oh, no, my mom talked to me about it a lot.
Good for you.
Like, I was fully aware. No, it wasn't like a shock that I heard. It was just, okay, maybe
it's like, I only say that because my dad never sat down to me and told me about busting my first nut. When that happened, I got freaked the fuck out. I know it's not the same thing, not even close to being the same thing. I'm just saying I thought something was broken and I was going to die.
Yeah. No, I could, like, imagine if you didn't have any education on your period. That would be terrifying.
Yeah.
But even with all the education that I was going to bleed, like, I was still scared of it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's gotta be terrible.
Like, it's kind of scary, man. Like, you're bleeding, and there's nothing you can do.
And it doesn't stop.
And imagine being a literal child, like 11, 12 years old, and you're bleeding. Like, that's scary. And again, I was emotionally, like, I was hormonal as hell, and it was emotional, but I wasn't like terrified for my life or anything, but it's still kind of a thing. Like, it's still kind of a moment. It's still
creepy as shit. It's still weird, you know?
So my first period, I was watching Pokemon, and there was an episode where Ash lets Pikachu go.
Oh no.
And I was
just
an
lose your shit.
emotional wreck. I was like crying. My dad comes home, what's wrong? Ash, let Pikachu go. So let that be proof that if they are old enough to bleed, they are not old enough to breed. No. Because I was an emotional wreck over Ash and Pikachu.
Well, and I've just gotten so much hate from people that I thought would be supportive of this kind of stuff. You know, getting kids out of the house, getting them to do stuff, where they give me the terrible arguments of, oh, it's not the same as geocaching. You know, that's a go out and do something. I'm like, motherfucker, I just went out and caught like a kakuna. What did you do today? You know, it's
delightful. Jesus Christ. Why do we have to shit on everything that is good and wonderful in this world?
Because it's current, it's pop culture, and all of a sudden people think it's a cool thing to hate on it. And
my little brother's fallen into the same thing.
It's cool to hate. It's cool to hate. That's all it is.
I love him to death, but he unfriended me this week over something my sister said.
It's like the whole same thing with Harry Potter, when Harry Potter was the big thing. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody's like, why are you reading those kids' book? Grow the fuck up. Like, they're delightful, you piece of shit. It's enjoyable.
I'm sorry, but I maintain that Harry Potter is some of the best literature that has been released in the modern age.
Yeah, even though the story is derivative of other stories, you know, like how storytelling is. I'm just saying storytelling.
That's called storytelling. That's called storytelling.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
Fuck you guys. You know, but
No,
it's just,
and what I find, and people have like derided it for this, is like, yeah, well, the first books are childish. Oh, yeah, you're right. The books grow in maturity as the character does.
and also
Holy shit, that's
it's
amazing.
it's a matter of an author going, am I going to get paid for this book? To an author going, I'm getting paid for this book.
She knew she was going to get paid. She did what she wanted to as an author. She didn't have to pander to anyone.
No. But I'm just saying, like the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone compared to not Order of the Phoenix. What was the last one? Deathly Hallows. My God, what a difference in book those were. I mean, not even going to the last one, but looking at Goblet of Fire compared to the first book. And you're like,
that's the thing,
she went from, here's a first draft, I'm going to send it to every book publishing company that I can find. Hopefully someone will take it. And then when they finally did that, she came out with the second book. And she's like, okay, I'm going to test the waters a little bit more.
Yeah, and then
the third book where she went decidedly dark, you know, with Sirius Black
you mean
and everything.
Like the emotional turmoil that is being a teenager?
Yeah, no shit.
And that's the thing is, oh my God, if anyone is hating on, okay.
Sorry,
here's a
we're
perfect
getting off in
example.
the reeds.
But real quick,
Yeah.
Here's an example. I saw a meme. It was a sexy woman, and the meme was, "I'm so glad that you play Pokemon Go and not guitar." Said no woman ever. And then I got on there and I said I. And the guy goes, "Well, that's unfortunate because I play guitar." And I said,
Good for you.
and I said, and
Thumbs up.
my boyfriend plays Pokemon Go. And he went, all right. I was like, yep. And
Too
guess
bad
what?
for you. You don't get to hear my rendition of Wonderwall.
Give a fuck. Like, great. Being an artist is no longer like inherently appealing to me.
Well-
You want to know why? Because I'm an artist.
Well, the cool thing
I get
is,
it.
like I said, I took my middle child out for playing Pokemon. Like, we got back from being out in the middle of the wilderness for like the last 4 or 5 hours. And I said, who wants to go catch some Pokemon with Dad? Oh, I do. And we go out to the park and we're sitting there and I put the lure module on the fucking Pokestop. You know, people out there are going to understand what I'm talking about. Shut up, everybody. And there were people that were wandering around of different ages, different cultures, and they were coming around nearby where we were.
Yeah. And you talk
Because
to each
I put
other.
the lure out there and they're like, and it's a good way of breaking the ice. I'm like, hey guys, come on by. I just dropped down a lure. Come on over. And I sat there and bullshitted with them for like 20 minutes. And so what my daughter got to see is that their dad isn't afraid to talk to anybody of any culture, age, or anybody. I saw little kids like wandering around a playground area where I know that there's like the rustling grass thing that you see on the map. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen that for like the last couple of days. I can't catch anything from there. And those kids looked at me like, oh God, what's this old guy looking at and talking with me for? And they get out of there. But my daughter's like, my dad's not afraid to talk to anybody. That's so cool. But meanwhile, no, that's okay, rest of my family. Go ahead and shit on this thing. So fuck you people. You know, you're the ones playing fantasy football. You're the ones doing all this other bullshit stuff that you think is so goddamn important that me playing a fun little game on my phone that requires a little bit of GPS is something trivial. Go fuck yourselves.
My mom in her 50s has downloaded it and she's playing it and she's taking care of her Pokemon too. Boo.
Though I'm really distraught because I thought I was going to be leveling up my Pidgeot that I got earlier today. And I accidentally transferred it back to the professor. God damn it. I lost one of my best Pokemon. I was like, no.
Oh, dude, I got a Nidoqueen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It took like 20 Pokeballs, but I did it.
It takes some work. God damn it, this game is good. So, Felicia, what do you got? What do you got?
Okay, so Pokemon Go is great. Having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
Low point, I've been processing a lot, and you know, a hater's gonna hate, but they kind of got into my head this week, man.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard not to let them.
I got into my head that I was unattractive, Which, by the way, my self-image generally of attractiveness has not just been based on my size or on my objective beauty, because objectively, I'm pretty.
Yeah.
But what I always felt was attractive about myself wasn't just my features, but who I am.
Exactly.
And they attacked that. And they attacked that I talk about boobs and my boobs a lot on the show. And you know what? Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I like my body, actually. And I like my boobs. And I also think it's bullshit that I can't go around topless where every other man... It's fucking bullshit.
For the people listening at home, I just rolled my shirt up a little bit and showed some nipple. That's okay.
I can't do that because we're going to be on YouTube, and that will kick our show off for some fucking reason. and it's insane to me that this is something we live with, and
we're okay with it for some reason.
And my friend who's breastfeeding is ashamed to breastfeed in public. Like,
which is a goddamn shame.
It really bothers me. And I guess what really got to me is that I've never acted dishonestly. I've been honest to who I am. I've tried so hard to be kind, and I've worked so hard, and it got to me, man. Like, it got in my head that I'm fat, and I'm not, actually. Like, by all standards, I'm actually not. Even though I've gained a little bit of weight on the campaign, I've started losing it again.
Yeah.
I'm not actually fat. And I'm not
to downplay anything that you're going through, but I giggle when you're like, I've gained 2 pounds. I'm like, 2 pounds is the difference between whether I've taken a dump today or not.
And that's the thing. It's like, my boyfriend can't tell that I've gained weight.
Yeah. We're terrible at it. Guys are terrible at it.
And that's fine.
I should say most guys are. Not all, most.
No, I'd prefer that he doesn't notice if I gain 5 pounds. I'd really appreciate
Well, because honestly, who really wants to hear, hey, you're looking kind of chunky today? It's like, no. Most people are not the kind of folks to say that kind of thing.
To him, I'm gorgeous. To him, I'm gorgeous. And that helps. That helps with the validation. But
yeah.
I truly believe that it's not just that I'm physically pretty, it's that he likes me and loves me.
Yeah.
But so it just, I mean, obviously you're allowed to express whatever opinion you want, but like, think about it, guys. Think about what you're perpetuating. If you have criticisms of a person, be aware of what those criticisms are.
Exactly.
And then high point. Oh my god, it's actually emotionally it's been a pretty rough week for me, but I've had a lot of moments of joy. Pokémon Go was great.
Yeah. Isn't it great that no matter how shitty things are, you could just wander your neighborhood and catch a fucking Pokemon in augmented reality?
Dude, it's
so charming.
It's taking me back to my childhood.
It's fun.
I did play this as a kid.
Yeah.
And like the game that really got me to be aware of different types of Pokemon was Pokemon Snap. It was the one where you didn't catch them, but you took pictures of them.
Yeah, on Nintendo 64. Yep.
Yes, yeah. And so like every time I see them in like augmented reality, I'm like, it's Pokemon Snap in my head, and I'm like, I know this Pokemon. I know this Pokemon. Oh my god, I know.
And I love how they include a camera that you can use to go back, to harken back to that kind of audience where you can click on the camera and you could take a picture. I got a great picture of a Mankey just sitting on the sidewalk earlier today.
It's adorable. It's
like, how fucking funny is that?
I just can't even. I found nothing wrong with Pokemon Go. I love it.
The hatred is just so stupid, in my opinion.
It's sad, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw Ghostbusters today.
Oh, I saw that too. I meant to talk about that.
Oh my God.
Was that fun or what?
It was so fun. I just had a smile plastered on my face the whole time. Like, I was just enjoying myself the whole movie, and it's so corny.
It's is
so corny. And it's kind of over the top. But in the previews, they kind of made...
the previews were bad. The commercials were all bad.
They kind of made... I'm trying to...
Patty?
Patty.
Yeah.
They made her seem like the stereotypical black character. Like she
was super fucking smart.
No, she was smart, and she was reasonable and friendly. Like, she wasn't a sassy black woman. Like they showed her in the preview. No, she was just like, and she was funny and charming and warm. She was such a warm character, wasn't she?
Yeah, everybody else in the group would have not worked quite as well together without her being there.
She was the heart.
Oh man, and Kevin, holy shit, did he not steal the movie?
Kevin, oh my god, he cracked me up.
You gonna answer the phone? Well, it's in the fish tank.
the one moment that really got me was when he was wearing glasses, but then he scratches his eye.
I laughed so hard at that part. And you can tell it took a couple people a second to figure that one out.
And he's like kind of clumsy, right? He's doing that like...
Oh, I got tired of having to clean him, so I just
he's doing
poked him
that
out.
like ditzy, cutesy, clumsy thing. Like it's such a stereotypical female character, and he's playing it as a man.
And he's doing it so straight.
He was so good. And he like runs into something, and the one, is your face okay? I couldn't help. And then there was the part where the one crazy one, I forget her name. Like
Holtzman?
She's the one, and she like invents things.
Holtzman, yeah.
Time. Yeah, she just in an impossible time.
And Sigourney Weaver is her like.
I was supposed to say that.
The part at the end where she's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure if any of us sneezed hard enough right about now, it'd scatter our atoms." And they're like, "Safety lights are for men. Safety lights are for men." Oh, it was a good movie.
I enjoyed it. I like, even when it wasn't like actively laughing, I was just like watching it like, what's gonna happen next? I'm really excited. Like, I had such a blast the whole movie.
I had fun, but the critical part of me goes, what about that villain though? He was kind of dumb, I thought, but it was still fun because.
I'm sorry, no. You know what? I think.
But the thing is, did you stay through the credits?
Where Chris Hemsworth is dancing?
No, all the way through at the end.
Was there a thing at the end?
Yeah, there was a stinger at the end.
Bitch! No.
And okay, for people that don't want to know, stop the podcast now. 3, 2, 1. So Patty is listening to you know how they did the fart joke early on in the movie where they were listening to the tape? Patty goes, "What's Zool?" Yeah, so they're setting it up for the sequel already. And I was like, oh my God. What did you think of... And okay, since we're already in spoiler territory, what did you think of the Peter Venkman character? What the fuck is Bill Murray's character?
Oh my God, so awesome.
Did you not... I didn't see that coming at all.
Not even a little. Not even a little.
The trap opens and I'm like, oh, there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden... So good. God damn it. This movie was fun. It was a great time.
It was so fun to watch. I do think that they marketed it a lot to female humor.
Yeah.
I think they did. Like the part where she's like, is it more gross if I tell you it was out the front or the back?
That was great.
I'm laughing, and like I could hear like women in the audience laughing, and men are like,
I don't get it. And I'm
and
like, queef. She made a queef joke.
You don't have to get it. You don't have to. This isn't for you. Like they owned it that bitches aren't going to be hunting. I said Pokemon. Bitches aren't going to be hunting ghosts. They're like, oh, not that comment, not that.
No. Let's not pay attention to that.
They knew what they were. They knew it, and they said, you know what? We're going to market this to women, and they did it unashamedly. And it was.
Paul Feig knows what the fuck he's doing. That was a good movie.
So fun. It was so fucking fun. I had a blast the whole movie. I'm gonna watch it like 10 times. I'm not even doing, because like I'm getting like suspense. Like I got the suspense, and I'm like, I'm into I had a blast.
Yeah. So if that's all you got, or do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so that does it for us this week. We're off to go run off to go record the Utah Outcasts Secret Patron Show, of which you can catch on all the old episodes on our YouTube and podcast feed, the ones that are at least 6 months old. I think we're almost into double digits, but with the old stuff that's coming out, but we're like barreling into the 50s or 40s when it comes to all this other stuff. So you're missing a good, I don't know, 25, 26 episodes or some shit. Anyway, you guys don't care about that. So if you feel like getting access to all the secret shows and additional content, you can join us beyond the veil if you check us out at patreon.com/Utah Outcast and select the level of support that you can get behind. Also, keep in mind you can reach us anytime through our social media empire, through comments on YouTube, voicemail, text at 347-669-3377, or email, mailbag@UtahOutcast.com. I realized the last couple episodes I haven't been saying this stuff, so apparently some people need that kind of constant reaffirming that kind of stuff. So anyway, thanks to Felicia for joining me once again this week, but sadly this is the part where we must say to y'all that the Utah Outcasts will catch you again next week with a brand new episode, but until then, you're welcome.
Bonne nuit.
And good night, everybody. We miss you, Kyle. Come back to the show, man. We'll talk to you next week. See ya.